Kel, you are newsbreaker extraordinaire. Let's get straight into it. Of course, you broke this news on Tuesday evening on Footy Classifieds that the Essendon Football Club, the Bombers, have requested a draft assistance package. Talk to us about that. What does it look like? I guess, Joel, you can jump in here as well with your role at the AFL. How do you approach it? Is it a PowerPoint presentation? Do you line people up? Do you get your best suit on? Talk to us about the package that they're searching for. And Joel, maybe you can fill in the listeners of how actually it gets decided upon, or whether you get one, or what it looks like.
They haven't put forward yet exactly what they're after. So the initial part to this is, and there is an element of process to it. And the first part of that process is actually saying, hey, where do we go to next? We're interested in doing this, and stop us now, basically. If it's not going to happen, stop us now. But if it's a chance, let's proceed and go forward. So they wrote to the AFL over the last fortnight and spoke about the reasons why they're going to go forward with this hope that they do get an assistance package, and outlining some key reasons why at this stage this is the reason why they believe they are in for that. And a part of that is injuries over the last couple of seasons. A part of that is the long wait without a finals victory across 22 years. A part of that is their youth, and another part of that is the upcoming Tasmania drafts too. So the fact that if Essendon can get stronger as a part of the rules that are open to clubs doing this, I don't begrudge them at all for asking, because I think they've probably been too proud in the past to ask, and there are a number of clubs that I think have probably been like that in the past as well, to say, no, we can do it ourselves. But we've seen assistance packages paid to clubs over the last 7 years, 4 of them, where clubs have said, no, we're going to ask for some help, and if the AFL is open to giving it, then we'll take it. I think it'd be silly not to do that. But as part of their early discussions with the league, I think if you look at what West Coast received last year as the starting point, that's where I'd see Essendon kicking things off.
Which was exactly where.
Yeah, so they ended up getting an end of first round pick, which basically came with the caveat that if you can trade this on a mature age player, we'd really like you to trade this on a mature age player.
Brandon Starcevic.
Which became Brandon Starcevic. So they essentially got Brandon Starcevic from the AFL, that selection pick that went back the other way to go to the Lions. And they also got 4 extra rookie picks, Joel, which helped them when their depth is tested, which Essendon, I think you'd say at the moment, with their injury list over the past couple of years, they haven't proven to the competition at all that their players are durable enough to get through. So 4 extra rookie spots to be used on mature age players or younger guys can certainly help.
I do take your point in that, the extra rookie spot. So you think about the players that they brought in. They were Schomburg, Robertson, Finn McRae, guys that may not help their AFL side, but they might start teaching their younger guys at VFL level when you put Duff Tyler back there and the likes. They're actually got protection,
a bit of cover.
And they're learning the right habits in winning and stuff like that. So it's quite clever.
Love to get your thoughts on the Nick Theodosio open line, 133693. Do you think the Bombers deserve a draft assistance package? My thoughts on when you request a draft assistance package, and again, I'm not anchored to it, but I think there's got to come with a bit of an admission, clearly, that you've botched some of the process on the way through. And if the AFL is going to step in, I think they actually need to accept some sort of control of where to next. So the reason why I say this is, if you've got yourself into this predicament, clearly there's been some issues on the way through, whether that be incorrect selections, whether it's been strength and conditioning programs, or incorrect identification, whether it be
development.
Development is the next bit I'm going. There could be some coaching issues as well and things like that. So why should we then throw another 18-year-old or another, even if it's 22, 23-year-old at you? Because we're not actually fixing the problem. We're just throwing, the old, good money after bad money sort of situation. So how it looks, there's smarter people, and Joel works in this space at the AFL, and you understand it, but I think there needs to become a level of accountability with it too. And I'd like to see the AFL then move to draft assistance packages, but call it football department assistance packages. So they actually control the additional spend that can take you over the soft cap, but they control it so clubs don't get all shirty, and then that actually then starts to step off. So what I'm saying is, allow you to add an additional person in development, which the AFL goes, right, you've got this, but then the actual money for that is going to slowly step down over 3 years until you've clearly put the right people in the place, the right environment. And there also needs to be some questioning on the people who have been the key decision makers to get you into that position.
I think the AFL will ask those questions.
Yeah.
And that is part of the process already, because this is the starting point. As we just said, the writing to the AFL is point one, but then you go through the process and you say, okay, this is the dream package. This is what we've done previously. There's probably an admission that across 2017 to 2022, there's about 4 or 5 players left on that group that actually play at Essendon. So that's been a wipeout in terms of their draft history there. And as you say, Jim, have we got things right on the development level?
The framework behind it.
The framework behind it. So the AFL's built a special assistance model behind the scenes, and that's a guiding framework more than a step-by-step, this is what you have to do to get an assistance
Do you
package.
understand do you have an understanding, or Joel, do you have an understanding for the listener? Because obviously everyone just goes, secret herbs and spices.
Yeah, well, there's an element of that, but also there's it's rolling percentage over a period of years, and games won, and ladder position, these type of things. So there's about 8 elements as I understand it, and they're not going to give that to clubs so that clubs can't actually manipulate it like with
period of time.
Exactly right. So like over the period of the priority picks, in the former use of the priority picks, you knew if you didn't win enough games over 2 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So this is not like that, but it does give them full discretion to be able to make moves around that.
Do we know who sits on that panel? Or?
I mean, Greg Swan is the head of the football department, and he has a very hands-on role in this. But last year, Andrew Dillon as well as the CEO was a big deciding factor in the West Coast package, and now Justin Reid as well as the list management guru within the AFL, who's been at a club who didn't ask for an assistance package at the Crows and went through the long way, but easily could have in that period.
Just before I get more of your thoughts, Joel, and we get to the Nick Theodosi open line, let's listen to Dean Solomon on requesting draft assistance.
Yeah, just become aware of that obviously this morning as well, and I mean the board obviously have done would have done a huge amount of work in working out the why. We feel like we can potentially apply for that. I just think it doesn't hurt to ask the question to find out.
Joel, you can fill in the dots as well that Cal's clearly across. Your thoughts to what we've discussed?
Well covered, to be honest, by Cal, and exactly what Solomon just said then. Like, it probably can't hurt to answer, put it on the agenda, but they probably want to know pretty soon on what it looks like, because they start their planning, conversations. Can they get in the conversation for someone like a Lachie Neale? They'll have more money than anyone. And at the end of the day, you got to start thinking of moves that you're
coming from both ends, young and old. I get that.
To be honest, I don't think that you should just shut off. Like, they probably have one true A-grader on their list at the moment that's consistently played good footy for a period of time. They have potential A-graders, but they're not there anywhere yet. And I talk of Zach Merritt, of course. But if you take him away, then you can't say that someone's put out enough good footy that anyone's following within that footy club. So,
and this is one of the small reasons. Like, I don't disagree with the changes to the father-son, the NGA. It was just my concern with clubs who are in Essendon's position. Like, could we have just saved it until Tassie come in, so they get all the opportunities, to get as strong as they can before we run into Tassie. But we should get to the Nick Theodosi open line. 133 693, always buying prestige cars, is looking for late model SUVs and European cars. Everybody should own a prestige car at least once in a lifetime. And Tim's up first. Good evening, Tim.
Yeah, g'day, mate. I reckon Essendon are dreaming, aren't they? They got offered 3 picks for Zach Merritt, who is apparently a selfish A-grader, if you listen to Brisbane, and they didn't take it. And the AFL don't give away these draft picks. Some other club loses in order to someone to get an extra pick. So maybe they should have managed things a bit better.
Yeah, it's a good thought, Cal.
Yeah, I think they should have managed things better over a long period of time. I mean, you don't go 22 years without winning a final if you're managing things well. I would say that all of these clubs that have gotten assistance packages have all been self-inflicted wounds to a large degree. I mean, when you end up in list crisis, like Essendon is at the moment or has gone through, it's generally always through decisions made in the past, isn't it? And just on the Zach Merritt argument, I've heard that a lot the last few days. I understand the point, but the point of list assistance is to add to what you're already doing. It's not to take away your best player, who is still their best player, and then in exchange for 3 extra picks. Now, I'd still like... Now, Essendon, I think, at the end of this year is a much more likely chance to move on Zach Merritt this year. He still wants to go. He still has Hawthorn in his sights. I think that is a very good chance of happening this year. But it doesn't, in my view, change the fact that last year's package wasn't good enough to move them in the end. So the two things can be true sometimes. And just because they're asking for a package here doesn't mean they should have gotten rid of their best player here.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's get to Peter. Thanks for your call, Tim. Peter, good evening.
Yeah, g'day guys. Look, I agree with Tim 100%, and I'm gonna add a couple of things to that. Firstly, just to address what Cal just said, Ken Hinkley, as well as their own coach who just resigned, who just got fired, Brad, knew that they were in rebuild phase the last year, not this year. It was an ego, and it was a statement of ego to keep him. We'll be damned if he goes. We'll be damned to let him go. It was based on ego, on making a stance. It had nothing to do with good management, good logic, or anything. The coach knew they should have let him go. Other coaches knew they were in rebuild because of where the list was last year. We can't say now they kept him in good faith to build a better team. That wasn't the intention at all. And, guys, if you recall when Sam Mitchell took over Hawthorn was going pretty badly at that stage. Not for a long time, but bad enough. And he was asked, will you apply for assistance with drafts? And he said, no, we're not going to do that. And, he put back himself, his strategy, and the club as well.
Yeah, appreciate your thoughts, Peter, and a lot of people share them as well. Let's get to Dennis, who's been waiting patiently. Good evening, Dennis.
Patience is a virtue. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks, Dennis.
It's all right. I learned that a long time ago. Look, I'd say with the Bombers, they deserve a few things. But, you might give them a couple of draft picks, but, the Taswegians are going to bolt through the gate, and we know that. And, look, they've still got Caddy. He's decent. You could put the big entree, Byzantini, in the ruck. I know they've lost Draper, the bloke with the Joe Dirt hair. He looks like he's out of the right carnival. He's up in Brisbane. But they've still got a reasonable player. Parrish, the Catholic boy, he's there, and of course there's Merritt, and he's floating around. I don't know, he might nick off. He should have gone to the Pies. His grandfather Thorold was there. He was a champion. But I think that the Bombers, you give a couple of picks. But one thing I'd say about the coaching with the Bombers, I think the guy they should have given it to is Paul Barnard, because he should have won the Norm Smith in 2000, not James Hurd. They just gave it to him because he had long sleeves on. It was outrageous.
Hey, Dennis, I was enjoying you until you sledged the long sleeve wearers like myself, but don't be a stranger. I enjoyed your chat.